Right now, I have Dr. Bagad with the Broken Body series as we cover andropause. Like I said to you before, the ladies were in trouble last week as we were learning of all the things that the time has been ticking in the clock, everything that we should be looking for. And now the men are joining us on the scare tactics. Good morning, Dr. B.
Hey, we've had lots of questions. I think you've really frightened some of our listeners.
I have to, Dr. B.
I mean, is it payback time for the women, huh?
Yes, I was so touched. Last week was Mother's Day and we bombarded them with menopause.
Well, right. This is similar, and people don't believe it exists, but actually it does. Basically andropause refers to symptoms men experience as their testosterone production begins to diminish. So as in women, estrogen is the female hormone. In men, testosterone is the thing that actually makes men's voices deep, makes them have facial hair, makes them growl, makes them, think that they own the world. This is the issue with that. And what happens is it begins to decline after the age of 40. And the symptoms often manifest as that testosterone declines. Now, those that are out there that are that age or who have dads or partners that are that age will know it's pretty similar to, they get mood swings, they get depression, they get irritable, memory loss, they get muscle loss, they lose their bum. It just looks like their bum has collapsed. They weight gain, they get what we call man boobs. They're men that actually almost could wear a bra, They get insomnia, and believe it or not, they actually even get night sweats. Oh. They get hot flashes and they wake up with a drenching sweat and they start sweating for no reason and they feel the body's burning. So men out there that have these symptoms, you may well, particularly at a certain age, be going through the menopause, and you can actually check on these things. But we're seeing, in younger and younger men, some of these deficiencies where the testosterone begins to decline. And this is because once again, it goes down to diet. It's coming down to a really poor diet, too much sugar, lack of exercise, a sedentary lifestyle. As a result, you're gaining weight, you're getting this sort of paunch, you're looking like an apple, if you like, rather than a triangle. And that actually then begins to affect the way testosterone is produced. And of course, the thing that brings most men to a physician or a GP is they get loss of sexual drive, loss of libido, loss of erection, and that really haunts them. And then they come to the clinic, and lo and behold, we find that usually they're overweight, they're not exercising, they've got no muscles, they're eating sort of crappy foods, and they want a quick fix. And just like women, there are hormone supplements, and of course we can give them testosterone, but prevention, looking upstream, is much better. And when you're in your 20s and 30s, if you take precautions, you actually have a much more sustained duration of testosterone in your life. So you can actually reach the age of 55 plus and still have, good growing muscle strength, good sexual drive and libido. And of course, you don't develop that paunch that everybody looks at when they look at a man in their 50s.
All right. Well, you've already said that. Can it be treated early? I hear that you say some people catch it very late and they don't know what's going on. If somebody catches it early, can it be treated?
Yeah. So we've had questions like this come in already, and the thing to do is, if you have some of those symptoms and you are in your 40s or 50s and you want to know, your doctor can run a blood test. It's called an LH test. LH stands for luteinizing hormone. This is a hormone that actually produces testosterone. So if that begins to become affected, we can tell that this man is going into trouble. Now, remember, the issue with testosterone is that it doesn't come without drawbacks. Just like with estrogen, women who are in the menopause and want to take hormone supplements need to be guided and counseled that these hormone supplementation, hormone replacement therapy doesn't come without issues. In women, the estrogen can cause weight gain, can cause blood clots, may predispose towards a high incidence of breast lumps and cancer. So one needs to be aware in hormone replacement that there are side effects. And the same with testosterone. Testosterone drives that organ under the bladder in men called the prostate. And if you have an enlarged prostate, or if you possibly have cancer, this testosterone will simply drive and fertilize that structure to either grow larger or, heaven forbid, produce cancer. So you've got to go through certain tests, because what's happening now is there are men's health clinics opening up in the country, and if you go to these, please make sure that these things are done, because men are going for quick fixes. So they want to take a Viagra or Levitra or one of these pills that cause an improvement in erection, or they want to take testosterone cream, or they want to take testosterone patches, or they want to take testosterone injections. And these things are quick fixes. They make you feel better, but remember that there are drawbacks which you need to be cleared of by your general practitioner, or hopefully in most cases people who are trained in men's health. So be cautious out there about that. So that's the blood test. We've had a question here, which vitamins are good for men's health. And the two vitamins that stand out the most are, one, vitamin D, the sun hormone. Get out and get some sun, or take a vitamin D supplement. And we know that zinc also helps in terms of improving testosterone levels. Somebody's asked here, what foods are those that boost testosterone? The foods that boost testosterone are things like pomegranate, leafy green vegetables, fatty fish, extra virgin olive oil, ginger, onions. And the things that diminish testosterone is that big nasty one, sugar. So sugar in your refined carbohydrates, in your fruit juices, your fizzy drinks, your sweets, chocolates, biscuits, all these things can actually dampen your testosterone. So that's really very important for you. And what's the average age of menopause? Andropause is usually about between 45 and 50. Somebody's asked, how long can it last? Actually, sadly, it can actually last between 10 to 15 years.
My Lord God.
It is a long, it is a long time. If you've got a grumpy partner, if he's, not got, muscle power or strength, he's looking sort of depressed, he's looking, then you need to have these things tested, and it can go on. And sometimes we do need to give them injections of testosterone, and it's amazing what happens to them. So this is important. But the most important thing to do is prevention. Like you say, an ounce of prevention is a pound of cure. So go upstream, start early. It's a bit, unfortunately, like Alzheimer's and dementia. We find that when we look at brains of 20, 30, and 40-year-olds, they actually already have signs of developing dementia and Alzheimer's, which presents in your 50s. So, these things don't happen overnight. And the same with your andropause, your erection, your sexual drive, your hair loss, your growing waist circumference, all don't happen overnight. So take precautions now. Those youngsters out there that think that it doesn't apply to them. So these are really take-home messages for the andropause.
Definitely. Dr. B, before I let you go, will it affect, how with menopause it affects childbearing? Does it affect childbearing with men?
Oh, very much so, because testosterone is responsible for sperm production. So if you find, we find diminished sperm production, particularly in men who've been drinking too much, because alcohol actually blocks conversion of chemicals that make testosterone. So they start losing hair. They get a big paunch, they get man boobs, and then they come and say, I'm trying to have a child and I can't have children. And when we do a sperm count, we find that their sperm are not moving at all. They're diminished in quantity, lots of things. So absolutely yes, Sue. So all these precautions out there.
All right. Well, I don't know. I guess we're done. Under time today. I'm so excited. But yes, Dr. V, I've had this was actually eye-opening. And I didn't think it was as, heart-wrenching as menopause. But I see how with men, if your manlyhood is being affected, it can definitely cause a lot of mental issues.
It does do, and the trouble with men is they don't speak up. Women are very quick to tell, and they come to see us much more frequently. Men actually, I call it the hand on the handle door. As they're leaving the doctor's room, they'll say, "Oh, by the way, doctor, I'm not performing well at night. My wife is complaining. I'm feeling sleepy." And then it's almost like an afterthought because they're so embarrassed about it. They shouldn't be, because it can result in lots of issues, relationship issues, work issues. So speak up, men, and go and see your doctors.
All right, Dr. B. Well, I'm excited to talk to you next week. I don't know what we're talking about. Please don't tell me. I'll find out next week.
We'll see next week. Take care. Have a good one.
All right. Have a great Sunday.